Methods of measuring national income. First method is product method or value added method. This method is also known as net output method or industrial origin method. Under value added method, national income is estimated by taking the contribution made by each producing enterprise to the production in domestic territory of a country in an accounting year, including net factor income received from abroad. And for that, the steps involved in value added method are: first, we will have to identify and classify the producing enterprises. As we all know that according to economic activities, the classification of productive enterprises is primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. Primary sector means that is related to the activities related to the creation, or you can say the land, water and soil. And in the secondary sector, we used to convert the raw material into the final product. And tertiary sector, that is the supporting sector of the primary and secondary both. Then we will be calculating estimation of net value added, and that will give us the domestic income. And to convert it into the national income, we will have to add net factor earnings from abroad. Estimation of net value added. इसके लिए हमें क्या करना होगा? The money value of the output of all the above sectors is termed as gross value added of domestic product, means GVA at MP. Gross value added at market price, that we will be calculating by value of output minus intermediate consumption. Means value of output में से intermediate consumption को minus कर देंगे. Then how we will calculate value of output? For that, primary, secondary, tertiary, all the sectors value of output will be added. So goods and services domestically produced plus net exports plus net change in stock. And we all know net change in stock, that is closing minus opening stock. Now, it means we can calculate net value added of the country if we deduct the following items from value of output. And for that, value of intermediate consumption and import of raw materials, consumption of fixed capital, that is also known as the depreciation, and net indirect taxes. We already know that indirect taxes minus subsidies give us the net indirect taxes. So, all these things will be symbolically can be written as NDP at FC, or you can also say it NVA at FC, that is value of output, all the three sectors, minus intermediate consumption, that is also of the three sectors, then indirect taxes plus subsidies minus consumption of fixed capital. To avoid double counting in the process of value of output, we consider the value of final goods and services. Means we will be counting only the value of final goods and services. Let me explain you the concept of intermediate goods and intermediate consumption. जैसा कि हम सब जानते हैं कि ये दोनों चीजें एक नहीं हैं. While calculating the value added of a country, intermediate consumption is of prime importance. इसकी बहुत importance है. It is the cost of intermediate goods. And what type of intermediate goods are there? Intermediate goods are those goods and services which are used in the production process and are provided by other sectors. It is a major part of cost of production, means whatever we make, that is being used different type of inputs. Therefore, deducted from value of output. And ये हम पहले ही जान चुके हैं कि value of output हमारा primary, secondary and tertiary sector इन सबको जोड़कर होता है. However, if we want to compute net value added, as we can say NDP at FC or NVA at FC, consumption of fixed capital, जिसे हम depreciation भी कहते हैं, should also be deducted from it. In case some imported raw material is used in the production process, it will also become the part of intermediate consumption. However, services of experts used in production, like services of a lawyer, foreman, and chartered accountant, are known as intermediate consumption expenditure. And then we will move to the estimation, or we will be adding the net factor income earned from abroad that will convert the domestic income into the national income. Now, third and the last step is adding net factor income from abroad, or NFI. Final step in the estimation of national income is to estimate the net factor income earned from abroad. And what are its components? That is net compensation of employees from abroad, net, as we can say, net compensation of employees, that is containing the income earned by an employee. Okay. Net income from property and entrepreneurship, and in other words, we used to say it operating surplus. And net retained earnings of resident companies abroad, that is the undistributed profit, you can say. Net factor income from abroad is added to net value added, so that to make it as national income. अगर हमें net value added में net factor income को add कर देना है, then we will be getting the national income. So the formula will become like that: national income equals net value added plus net factor earnings from abroad, and in other words we can say it NDP at FC plus NFI. Now, after calculating all the steps, we are making a summary of measurement of national income by value added method. First formula: gross value added at market price, GDP at MP. Whether it is written or not written, GDP at MP is considered as GDP at MP. Value of output or in primary sector plus value of output in secondary sector plus value of output in tertiary sector, and from that the summation of this we will be subtracting the cost of intermediate consumption in different sectors. It may be primary, secondary and tertiary all. Now, the second formula for that is net value added at factor cost, that is also known as the NDP at FC. Gross value added minus depreciation minus indirect taxes plus subsidies, and indirect taxes minus subsidies, that give us the NIT or net indirect taxes. And the last formula, national income, for that we will calculate the NDP at FC and adding net factor income earns from abroad. लेकिन यहाँ पर हमें ध्यान क्या रखना है कि what are the things that are not to be included while calculating national income through value added method. So the first one is sale and purchase of second hand goods and property should not be included. Why it is not included? Because it has already been included in the previous year. So that will lead to the double counting if we count it again. Now, the next precaution which we have to take is commission and brokerage on sale and purchase of second hand goods and property becomes the part of national income, because सेकेंड हैंड गुड्स को हम शामिल नहीं करेंगे, लेकिन जो भी इस डीलिंग को करवाएगा उसका हम शेयर शामिल करेंगे. इट इज अ फैक्टर इनकम, देयरफॉर इट शुड बी इंक्लूडेड इन नेशनल इनकम. नाउ the third precaution which we have to take for while calculating national income by value added method, the value of goods retained for self consumption should be included. क्योंकि वही चीज अगर हम बाहर से खरीदते तो हमें उसके लिए पैसा देना पड़ता in national income, because it is a part of domestic production. Now the fourth, import of raw material and semi-finished goods should be deducted from value of output to get it net value added. Now, on account production of goods and producing units is taken into account while estimating value added because it is very much a part of domestic production. Now, on account of production of fixed capital by government, firms and household should be included in national income and it is also a part of domestic income. ये भी domestic income का ही एक हिस्सा है. Now, the last but not the least, that is services of self-consumption should not be included. Just as ममा घर पे खाना बनाती है तो क्या वो आपसे पैसे लेती है? नहीं. Should be, because these are available at free of cost. So these are not included while calculating national income because such services are free of cost.